What if I told you Hogwarts was just the beginning? That far beyond the Forbidden Forest, hidden in jungles, carved into volcanoes, and even floating among the clouds, lie schools that make Hogwarts look like child's play? What kind of magic do they teach in the Amazon? Why do some schools punish you with your robe color? And who trains future dark wizards on purpose? From ancient African shapeshifting to Japanese wand mastery, and American schools built on equality and exile. The wizarding world is way bigger than you thought. Let's dive into every magical school, explained like never before. Before there were 12-foot winged horses or jade-colored volcano schools, there was Hogwarts, hidden deep in the Scottish Highlands, surrounded by fog, forests, and secrets, stands the oldest, most iconic wizarding school in the modern magical world. But it wasn't just a school, it was a battleground of ideals, founded over 1,000 years ago by 4 legendary witches and wizards: Godric Gryffindor, Salazar Slytherin, Helga Hufflepuff, and Rowena Ravenclaw. Hogwarts was born from unity and immediately torn by division. While they all agreed the magical youth needed guidance, they violently disagreed on who deserved it. That's how the house system was born, a magical personality test disguised as a tradition. Gryffindor sought courage, Slytherin demanded ambition, Ravenclaw prized intellect, and Hufflepuff, she welcomed the rest, with loyalty, hard work, and heart. But Hogwarts wasn't just philosophical, it was physically alive. Staircases that move, rooms that vanish, a ceiling that reflects the real sky above your head. Entire passageways no one's fully mapped to this day, and somewhere, if you believe the whispers, a chamber built to unleash a monster. Students start their magical journey here with subjects like transfiguration, potions, and charms. But it's not just theory. From their first year they're doing magic, testing spells, brewing drafts, accidentally blowing things up, and everything leads toward 2 major exams: Auduels, ordinary wizarding levels, and Newties, nastily exhausting wizarding tests. Do well and you shape your magical future. Fail and doors slam shut. Behind the scenes, it runs like its own mini-society. There's a headmaster, heads of house, ghosts, talking portraits, and let's not forget the house elves who make sure everything from the feast to the fireplaces run flawlessly, even if most students never thank them. But it's not all peaceful. The castle has seen war, betrayal, death. From secret chambers to full-on magical invasions, Hogwarts has never just been a school. It's a training ground, a safe haven, a battlefield, and somehow, after centuries of conflict, it still stands, waiting for the next generation to arrive. If Hogwarts is a fortress, then Beauxbatons is a fairy tale. Tucked away in the glimmering slopes of the Pyrenees Mountains in southern France, Beauxbatons Academy of Magic doesn't just teach spells, it teaches style. Forget cold stone and moving staircases. This place is a literal palace. Golden lamps float through marbled corridors, magical light dances on glass chandeliers, and students glide through the halls in silk blue robes like they stepped out of a royal ball. But don't let the beauty fool you. This school demands discipline. Beauxbatons has a reputation for precision, posture, and perfection. Every gesture, every spell, every bit of wand work is performed with elegance. And you better believe, manners matter. Madame Maxime, the school's towering headmistress, and a half-giant with grace that could put a queen to shame, has led the school with a mix of iron will and quiet strength. Under her watch, Beauxbatons became famous for its mastery of elemental magic, enchantment, and healing arts. Academically, students dive deep into theory, not just how magic works, but why. And while other schools duel in corridors, Beauxbatons teaches magical etiquette, music, and art as seriously as defense against the dark arts. The food, think French cuisine that rivals the wizarding world's finest. Their dining hall isn't just enchanted, it's a shimmering ice palace with ceilings that glow. And yes, they did compete in the Triwizard tournament, arriving at Hogwarts in a flying chariot drawn by 12 winged horses the size of elephants. No one forgot it. While some outsiders scoff and say Beauxbatons is too formal or even elitist, its graduates are found in top positions across Europe as healers, diplomats, and magical scholars. Because here's the secret: behind every polite smile and graceful wand flick, is a witch or wizard who knows exactly what they're doing. Cold, isolated, ruthless, that's Durmstrang, hidden somewhere in the icy north, maybe Scandinavia, maybe Eastern Europe. No one really knows. The school's location is so secret it might as well be a myth. But those who've been there, they describe a place that feels less like a school and more like a fortress preparing for war. Durmstrang doesn't care about comfort. Its stone halls are bare, its lake is frozen, and its rules unforgiving. Here, students don't just learn how to protect themselves from dark magic. They're taught how to use it, openly, officially, unapologetically. Combat spells, curses, dueling, magical endurance. Every lesson is a test of strength, power, and discipline. The weak don't last long. And while other schools teach ethics and harmony, Durmstrang teaches control. Because in their eyes, control is safety. Its reputation darkened even more under Igor Karkaroff, a former Death Eater who fled Britain and ended up leading Durmstrang during the Tri-Wizard tournament. While he was eventually exposed and removed, his time there only confirmed what many feared, that Durmstrang doesn't just tolerate dangerous magic, it breeds it. And then there's Gellert Grindelwald, one of the most powerful dark wizards in history. He was once a student here, but even Durmstrang expelled him for magical experiments that went too far. Let that sink in. Still, for all its controversies, Durmstrang remains a top-tier institution. Its graduates are disciplined, highly skilled, and often feared. Because when you say you trained at Durmstrang, people don't ask what you learned. They ask what you're capable of. While Europe clung to tradition, America built something wild. High atop Mount Greylock in Massachusetts sits Ilvermorny, the most powerful school of magic in North America. But it didn't start with ancient bloodlines or royal founders. It started with a runaway witch and a no-mage husband. Isolde Sayre, a descendant of Salazar Slytherin, fled dark magic in Ireland and sailed to the New World. She had no castle, no students, no legacy, just a wand, a dream, and a tiny stone cottage in the woods. That cottage? It became Ilvermorny. Unlike Hogwarts, where bloodlines caused feuds and house founders fought for control, Ilvermorny was built on unity. Isolde welcomed anyone with magical ability, regardless of heritage. Even indigenous magical traditions were honored. Something almost no other school dared to do. Its 4 houses aren't named after people, they're named after creatures. Thunderbird for adventurers, Wampus for warriors, Horned Serpent for scholars, and Pukwudgie for healers. No sorting hat. Instead, enchanted statues choose the students. Sometimes more than one reacts, and the student chooses which house feels right. From the beginning, Ilvermorny placed special focus on wandcraft. James Stewart, Isolde's husband and a no-mage, became one of the most respected wand-makers in American history. Early students even used wands he carved himself. The school's vibe is different. Less gothic, more frontier. Less tradition, more innovation. Ilvermorny embraced blending of cultures, magics, and ideas. Students still study charms, potions, transfiguration, but there's a heavy emphasis on magical ethics. Because America's magical history is messy, full of secrecy, stolen traditions, and dangerous divides, Ilvermorny tries to bridge those gaps, to raise a generation of witches and wizards who are powerful, but principled. Some say it lacks the ancient prestige of Hogwarts or the polish of Beauxbatons, but others say it's the future, a place where magic isn't just taught, it's reborn. Deep in the heart of the Amazon, where muggles see only ruins swallowed by vines, there's a golden temple that breathes magic. This is Castellabruxo, the crown jewel of South American wizardry. And here, the jungle isn't just scenery, it's the teacher. Built centuries ago by native magical cultures, Castellabruxo predates colonization. Its walls shift with the forest. Corridors adapt to storms, and every inch of the school pulses with ancient enchantments rooted in elemental power. Students here don't sit in cozy classrooms. They trek through the wild. They battle magical plants. They bond with creatures no textbook could describe. This school is world-renowned for magizoology, herbology, and potion making, all deeply tied to the Amazon's endless biodiversity. Imagine learning potions from ingredients that are alive and watching you. Welcome to day 1. But Castellobruxo doesn't rely on strict professors to maintain order. It relies on Kipora, mischievous forest spirits who act as magical hall monitors. Break the rules, they'll prank you into next week, but they'll also protect you from real danger. Students wear bright green robes enchanted to blend with the forest. Meals are harvested from magical plants and conjured fresh, and every lesson, from spellcasting to survival, is shaped by nature's rhythm. Though less flashy than its European counterparts, Castellabruxo is deeply respected. Its alumni go on to become the world's top potion masters, magical conservationists, and environmental spellworkers. Because here, you don't just learn how to survive in the wild, you learn how to work with it. Castellabruxo doesn't just teach magic, it teaches respect for power, for nature, and for the living world we often take for granted. High above the sea, where clouds wrap around volcanic cliffs like silk, there's a school carved from white jade, glowing in the moonlight. This is Mahoutokoro, Japan's legendary school of magic. And unlike anywhere else, here, discipline is magic. Students begin training young, as early as age 7. They don't move into the castle full-time until they're 11, but before that, they fly to class each day on the backs of enchanted storm petrels, massive seabirds that soar between ocean and sky like living comets. Mahoutokoro doesn't shout, it doesn't shock, it whispers with power, built on silence, focus, and respect. Every student wears an enchanted robe. At first, it's pale pink, a symbol of a beginner, but as skill grows, the color deepens, all the way to shimmering gold, the mark of mastery. But if a student ever breaks magical law or dabbles in dark magic, their robe turns pure white, a color not of purity but shame, instant expulsion, no second chances. That's Mahoutokoro, strict, clear, uncompromising. Its curriculum, razor sharp, astronomy, magical theory, precision wandwork. Students are trained like artists, not just to cast spells, but to perfect them. And when it comes to Quidditch, they don't play, they dominate. Mahoutokoro produces more international Quidditch stars than any other school on Earth. The Japanese national team, almost entirely alumni, but behind the sport and the silence lies a deeper philosophy. Honor above all. Every wand flick, every step in the hall, every word spoken is held to a code. Because here, magic isn't just about power, it's about who you become when no one is watching. Before Hogwarts, before Ilvermorny, before almost any school we know, there was Uagadou, carved into the mountains of the moon in Uganda, high above the clouds. Uagadou isn't just the largest magical school in the world, it's one of the oldest, thousands of years old, built into stone, shaped by stars. Most muggles will never find it, and those who wander too close, they're gently turned away by ancient enchantments, spells older than written history. Uagadou isn't flashy, it doesn't need to be. Its courtyards are open to the sky, its classrooms breathe with wind and light, its observatories watch the cosmos, because here, magic isn't just about wands and words, it's about the universe. Students are chosen not by owl, but by dream. A spirit-like figure visits them in their sleep, leaves behind a stone-carved token, and just like that, they're marked for Uagadou. No acceptance letter has ever felt more magical. And the magic? It's different, more ancient, more instinctive. Wands aren't required here. Students use gestures, incantations, and the energy of the natural world. Wands are tools, not the source. Uagadou is especially known for transfiguration, astronomy, and elemental magic. Here, students don't just turn cups into rats, they turn into mist, into light, into beasts. Shape-shifting is part of daily life. Mastered young, honed through years, their robes, flowing and woven with magic, they respond to weather and to the energy of the person wearing them. Uagadou graduates are not just powerful, they're wise. Many go on to become mediators, magical scholars, protectors of endangered magical species, and leaders across the continent. Because Uagadou doesn't just teach spells, it teaches legacy, rooted in stone, guided by stars, and passed from dream to dream. We know Hogwarts, we know Durmstrang, Ilvermorny, Beauxbatons. But what about the schools that no one talks about? Because the truth is, the wizarding world doesn't stop at 7. Somewhere deep in the Russian wilderness, past frozen rivers and endless pine, is a school called Koldovstorets. It's rarely mentioned, barely documented, but it's said their students play Quidditch on entire trees. Not brooms, trees. Insane? Maybe. But it hints at a magical culture that's wild, untamed, and powerful in ways we barely understand. In Africa, beyond Uagadou, there are whispers of other schools, one possibly hidden in the highlands of Ethiopia, another in Nigeria, operating with complete independence, rooted in local magical traditions that predate colonial borders. In Oceania, the existence of a magical school has never been confirmed, but it must exist. J.K. Rowling herself said there are 11 major magical schools around the world. That means one likely serves Australia, New Zealand, and the South Pacific. But its name, its location, still unknown. Some believe it blends Aboriginal enchantments, weather magic, and Pacific Island rituals into something entirely unique, a fusion of ancient magic and elemental power. But for now, it's all speculation. Other rumored names appear in fan circles, like the Wizarding Institute of Nairobi or Albemarle Academy. But they've never been confirmed. Are they real schools, branches of the Big Seven, or something else entirely? And beyond that, magic isn't always taught in towers or temples. In many parts of the world, young witches and wizards are trained through family apprenticeship, local magical guilds, or secret tutors passed down through generations. Because in some cultures, a castle is too loud, too obvious, too dangerous. What we know is barely scratching the surface. Behind every mountain, beneath every jungle, inside every forgotten ruin, there could be a school, unseen, unrecorded, unspoken. The magical world isn't just big, it's boundless. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest school of magic is the one no one's discovered yet. 7 schools, thousands of students, endless spells, secrets, and stories. From icy fortresses to glowing jade cliffs, from jungle temples to mountaintop observatories. Each school doesn't just teach magic, it reflects the culture, the values, and the history of the world it's built in. And yet, for every school we know, there are likely more we don't. Hidden by enchantments, lost to time, protected by tradition. Because magic was never meant to fit in a box. Not in books, not in borders, not even in Hogwarts. So the question isn't where would you go? It's where haven't we looked yet? Which magical school would you want to attend or discover? Drop it in the comments. Because somewhere out there, the next secret is waiting to be found.